Excuse me, Kate, are you really going to get married? Long time no see, Mom. I'm not sure where you heard about all of that, but it is true that I'm getting married soon. I would really like to introduce you guys to my fiancé as well. I don't care about your fiancé right now. How could you push your cute and amazing little sister aside and get married before her as the useless pile of trash that you are? I will not allow such a thing to happen. Why does it even matter to you which one of us gets married first? If you're so worried about me getting married before her, then how about you talk with her and ask her to get married right now? She is far too cute for me to say anything like that to. If I'd choose between asking her that and yelling at you like I am now, I'd choose this. Now, you get out of her way and let her get married first. This is the whole reason why you're always called useless by us. The only ones who are ever treating me like I'm useless are you and Dad. What are you talking about? Everybody in this family says that about you. Well, the other day I was out with Aunt Jane and her family for lunch. Huh? So, was that all you had to say to me today? I was planning on telling you and Dad about how I'd be getting married soon, but that's all been taken care of now. So, can we stop talking to one another right now? You hold it right there. Be aware that neither your father or I will be coming to your wedding then. There's never been a wedding so awful that not even the bride's parents would come to it, right? But since you're trying to get married before your own little sister, like the little rat that you are, then us not coming is what you get. I was wondering what else you had to say to me. Since I have the chance to, allow me to say this clearly. Just having our cute and amazing little daughter is more than enough for your father and I. We have no reason to be going out to your wedding of all things. I see. Well, suit yourself, I guess. Are you sure you're not going to be regretting those words? I would never regret staying away from you. Your father is agreeing with me right now as he sits here next to me looking at what we're saying. Then I'll make sure not to send either one of you the wedding invitations. Is that really what you want to have happen, though? You're starting to get on my nerves now, Kate. All right, then. Well, it seems now that we've handled what we had to say today. Goodbye now. Kate, did you tell Mom about how you're going to be getting married soon? She just came into my room out of nowhere and started going on and on about what all you were doing and left without even letting me say anything. Oh, well, I wasn't the one that let her know about that. She had to have heard it from someone else, and then she started to text me asking about it all. Is that right? I'm going to assume that one of my friends from back in the neighborhood told their parents about it, and then their parents went to Mom about it afterwards. I see. It's not like you were trying to hide your upcoming marriage from anyone or anything like that. Not really. I was even planning on telling Mom and Dad about it all soon, too. And when I said to her that I'd like to introduce my fiancé to her, she told me she didn't care about him at all, and that's where things ended. Are you serious? From what I saw Mom saying and from how she was acting, she didn't take things very well. Complaining about things like how we should be getting married and whatever happened to the little sister coming first kind of thing. Remember that Mom has always been about you coming first when it comes to everything, and if that doesn't happen, she loses it. Well, I don't really care who gets married first, to be honest. But in Mom's mind, I think she can only see two outcomes, one with me winning for her and one with her losing to you. And when she was complaining to me just a bit ago, she was saying everything like I just agreed with her on all of it and had no comments of my own to make. She made it seem like she was going to listen to me, but wasn't actually trying to. So it's not just me who has to go through all of her crap? Well, I can't compare what I'm going through to the amount of hell you've had to deal with. But I really do want to hurry up and get out of this house. Just a little longer, so please hang tight. Will do. Bailey, I have the best news ever for you. What's it about? You are going to be getting married now. Huh? Listen, the other day you agreed with me that you didn't want your older sister getting married before you, right? When I went to your father and told him about how you were feeling, he went out and found you the perfect man to make into your husband. What are you talking about? The man he found is a 37-year-old who is currently working for a very large company. He's 37 years old? I'm only 21, Mom. Well, at this point in time, nobody's going to care about you both being 16 years apart from one another.
That's not even the problem I have. Why is all of this even happening right now? I never said anything about how I wanted you and Dad to look for a man to marry, did I?
You've always been telling me about how you wanted to get married to a very wealthy man in order to make both your father and I happy, right?
I never once said any of those things.
Oh, Bailey, you really don't have to get shy about this. We made sure to talk with your boyfriend about how you'll be going on a date with one another tomorrow at a local hotel, and we'll be staying the night there together. So please prepare for that.
Huh? Kate, I'm going to be leaving Mom and Dad's house right now.
What?
This is an emergency, so I made sure to grab all of what I could carry, and I'm going to get on the next bus out of this place before they all stop.
Bailey, hold up. What's happened?
Both Mom and Dad went out and found a man for me to marry, and I never even asked for that.
What? Did they start doing that in an attempt to get you married before me?
I made sure to give Jim a call just a second ago about this, and he said he'll be coming to pick me up at the bus station closest to his house when I arrive there. Now, if either Mom or Dad ask you about where I've run off to, please don't tell them a dang thing.
I'll make sure not to. I'll go ahead and act like I don't even know what happened. Now, be careful not to panic too much, all right?
I'll try my best.
Kate, do you have any clue where Bailey went? What's that? Did something happen between you two? Oh, no. I wonder when she left the house at. And pretty soon her fiancé will be coming to pick her up. Her fiancé? Yes, it's Bailey's fiancé. Did she ever even have a fiancé before? They got engaged just yesterday. Both your father and I went out of our ways to find her a man with very high specs for her to marry. And today's the day where she'll get to meet him for the first time and then go with him to a nearby hotel to have their very first date. Did you only tell that all of that was happening after you guys put it into motion? And did you just say that this will be her first time meeting him and that they're then going to have a date at a hotel afterwards? There's no reason for someone like Bailey to say no to such a good thing, right? Well, you're not going to know about that unless you go and ask her how she feels about it. I don't have to ask her to know how she feels about it. I know that her dream is to get married to a man with a ton of money, all for the sake of her own mother. I'm pretty sure that is not at all what her dream is. And what could a waste of time and money like you ever know about the things that Bailey and I have? Well, whatever. As for what you were asking, I have no clue what's happened to her or where she's gone. If you want to find her so badly, then you go out and start looking for her, please. You don't have to tell me that twice. Honestly, the only thing you've ever been perfect at is pissing other people off, Kate. Bailey, I just got some texts from Mom a second ago, and it seems that she's only just now figured out that you're no longer home with her.
Wait, are you serious?
She was asking me when you disappeared from the house and all that.
You have to be kidding me.
Well, thanks to her ability to be so unaware of things, I was able to make it over to Jim's place safe and sound. So in the end, everything turned out just fine for me. That's right. By the way, what's your plans for going to trade school going to be? You're way too far from the school to go there now, and if you were to come back here, it would be far too dangerous for you.
That's what I was thinking about, so before I left, I made sure to call the school. And they told me that there's actually a closer office to here that I can go to a few days a week for training, and then the rest of my classes can be taken online.
Oh, is that right?
I know that it's not the best thing for the field I want to go into, but for the time being, it's a better option than anything else out there.
I see. Well, as long as you're okay with it all, I have nothing to worry about. And the fact that you were able to make it all the way to Jim safely is by far the best news today.
Are things going to plan for the both of you?
Right, about all of that. With the way things are now, I can tell that both Mom and Dad are going to not only be annoying, but a massive pain in my butt. So I just spoke with my fiancé again, and we've decided that the best bet is to give up on where we were planning to have our wedding and head out that way instead.
I think that's the better choice as well. And if you guys do plan to be out there anyway, then it's no problem having your wedding overseas as well, right? And it's not like you had really invited anyone else besides his parents anyway.
Kate, why didn't you tell me this earlier?
It's been a few months now, Mom.
The men that both you and Bailey are getting married to are the sons of an executive director at your dad's work?
That's right. We actually went overseas and had our weddings together at the exact same time. Bailey got married to the little brother, Jim, and I got married to the big brother, John. I guess the wedding is all over with now, and the news was going to eventually make its way back to you guys. And as for Bailey, she did get married as a student, but both of Jim's parents aren't worried about that and said it would be okay.
Stop talking like you have no worries about all of this. That executive director is the younger brother of the CEO. In other words, that means that both your husband and Bailey's husband are nephews to the CEO. Why did you never tell your father and I about this earlier?
I actually wanted to tell you guys about it, but when you started to get in touch with me first, you told me that both Dad and you wouldn't be coming to my wedding, right?
What?
But even with that all being said, I thought it would be a good idea to say something about my fiancé, you know? However, after I had some talks with his parents about what to do, and during those talks I mentioned how you didn't even listen to Bailey's opinions at all, and went out to get her a fiancé when she didn't even ask for one. We talked about how after you had told Bailey that news, she panicked and got onto the next bus with whatever she could carry, and made it all the way out to Jim's place that night.
It wasn't that crazy that she had to run away from it, though.
No matter how you think about it, what you did was crazy enough to warrant her running off. You told her to go on a date with some old man and then go stay the night at a hotel when she hadn't even met him before yet. Do you not understand how scared you made her when you said all of that?
But when it came to her fiancé, Bailey said to me that she wanted to make my dreams come true before, and so...
That's what you've been telling yourself this whole time, all right?
What?
All you've been doing is rambling on and on about your dreams. And when Bailey never even had a chance to say anything about your dream, you just assumed that she agreed with it and would do as you wanted.
Huh? There's no way that could be.
Then tell me, with all those things you think she said, why did she already have a boyfriend and everything who she was ready to get married to?
Well, that's, you see, with him being the executive director's son, he has to have a lot of money.
Well, when it comes to the both of his sons, neither of them are working with him in that company, and are in fact working in a completely different line of work as remote workers.
What?
And when it comes to how much Jim is making, it's not all that great of an amount. Just enough for him to take care of the both of them for a bit. Also, it was John and I who had first started going out with one another. And later on, we both introduced Jim and Bailey to each other. And we only ever learned about how their father was the boss of ours after we had been dating for a little while and started to talk about our parents more. So when it comes to you and that dream of yours, it had nothing to do with either one of us, and we never ever listened to it.
No way.
So we are done here, right? I know that Bailey has already gone and blocked both you and Dad, and I'm about to do the same thing to you both as well.
Hold on a second, please. Look, right now things aren't going so well for me.
What's happened to you now?
After I had chosen not to go to either one of your guys' weddings, and after I had done everything without listening to a single thing from Bailey about how she felt, it's really gone and upset the executive director.
Yeah, I could understand him getting upset over all of that. You pretty much went and made it seem like you didn't care about either one of his sons.
Your dad, and his position at the company, everyone's been talking about him behind his back, and right now he feels like he's not in a good place at all there.
I'm sure. That all sounds like something that would begin to happen. That's the kind of bullcrap both you and him pulled with your own daughters and the executive director's sons.
And the son of the president living next to us also works for the same company as your dad, and when he heard the news, he told his mom about it, and now that news is spreading all throughout the neighborhood, and now it's really hard for me to leave this house with everyone watching me.
I like to think you're both getting what you deserve right now, Mom.
No way! Are you not even going to try and help your father and I out of this, even just a little bit?
Is there a reason for me to want to help you both?
What?
Are you aware of just how much stress you've given both myself and Bailey over the years now? I don't think you do, and will most likely never will.
You guys have been stressed? You go ahead and figure all of your problems out on your own now. I have my own husband to get back to now as we both begin to move into our new place and buy furniture for it. But, isn't there at least a few $1,000s you could— No, Mom, there really isn't. For all those times you called me so useless and a pile of trash, it's really odd seeing you begging for my help like this now anyway. Go talk with Dad about how to handle your guys' punishment, in other words, and leave both Bailey and I out of it. Goodbye now, and I'll never be seeing you again. Kate, wait! Let me come out to you and we can talk all this over in person. What is your address? Kate! My mom continued to call me for some time after I put down my phone, and with it getting really late for me, once I'd gotten out of the shower, I went and made sure to block her. Things were then completely silent, and I never had to hear another word from her or my dad's mouth ever again. After what had all gone down with my mom, my dad was kind of forced to quit his job at the company, and was not even given a package or anything when he left. One of the reasons he's had to go and leave the company is because he couldn't stand all of the rumors about him. He would have to spend almost every single day of his life there dealing with the crap his coworkers would give him about my mom's and his decisions. And at one point, he was even being teased by some of his teammates, saying that he would have been better off with a wife that could actually understand the difference between reality and her dreams. So with all of that constant talk getting to him, he really didn't have another choice but to go. There is one other thing, though, that played into the decision my dad made, and that had to do with money. In order to get the 37-year-old man to marry my little sister, they were paid hundreds of dollars by him as a way of saying he could pretty much do whatever he wanted with her. But due to my sister no longer marrying the 37-year-old man my parents promised him would happen, they were asked to return the money he'd given them. However, both of my parents had already used the money, and part of the reason for that was my dad's current situation at work. And normally, my parents weren't good at saving money anyways, so they both really put themselves in a bad situation. So when that man came over to get the money back, and neither of them had it for him anymore, he went and took valuables from them like jewelry and clothing, which he could go out and sell. Things became even more difficult for my dad after that, as he started looking for work due to his old age. And without the hopes of money coming from my sister or I anymore, both of my parents started to get into arguments and fights every day, throwing furniture all around their house. But after a few days, they both agreed to go out and settle with part-time jobs in order to pay for the house and food, and get all of the neighbors to stop calling the police on them due to the fighting. I'm not sure how long they can handle that situation for, though, but having blocked the both of them now, their future does not matter to me at all. And as for what's happened with Bailey, she's now back on the other side of the U.S. from my parents with her husband, taking classes at her trade school to prepare for working as a carpenter. And when things come to myself, I'm still living overseas with my new husband, working full-time as a housewife. He and I aren't totally certain what I'm going to do next here, but at least now I'm not being held down by my mom anymore and finally feel completely free.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.